Just
Three,
I
two.
thought Tuna was referring to.
One.
It's the 350th episode of the Unranked Podcast, and this is Christian Humes here with Alex Tuna Marinella.
Yep.
And Tom, the great Tom Caswell.
We're finally old enough to drink.
Yes, we are. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's jump into it.
Lots to talk about, Tuna.
I may have less to talk about than you think.
Okay. Tuna. Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Go ahead.
Can anyone tell me what the 350th Pokemon is?
Some boring thing. Oh no,
it's not.
It's an evolution. Yes, hang on. No, it's an evolution to whatever we talked about last week.
Last week, Alex, was Feebas. Feebas was a fish Pokemon.
Miltonic.
Milotic.
Milotic. That one I think I know. Oh wait, no, I don't. I know
Milotic. You've definitely seen this one because it's one that like pops up in more gens later because it is a fan favorite Pokemon.
We probably also talked about it during our which are the most fuckable Pokemon episode that we did.
Maybe
because it's a sexy thing.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Give me the etymology.
Yeah, toss me your etymology. What's going on?
Are you asking me or Tuna?
Oh, I thought Alex was offering.
I thought that's what he was going for. Yeah.
I'm saying you give me.
You want me to do it?
Wait, what?
I thought you were going to describe what this Pokemon was.
Yeah,
right.
I'm doing like the spelling bee thing.
So you haven't seen it yet?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you'd looked it up.
No.
It's a big sea serpent-esque thing.
Wait, what just happened here?
What do you mean?
Typically, Alex, we give you the name of the Pokemon and you just guess what it is.
Yeah, no, I know. But like I was trying to do like the spelling bee where I was going to ask like questions and then you guys were supposed to, we were going to riff on that. And you guys were going to say, I think
the confusion came in because you're the one who always provides like the name origin info. So when you brought up, can we do the etymology? It felt more like you were asking, can I tell you? Right. So I figured you had looked at it at this point. No. We're really off the rails here. We're like 3 minutes in.
350 episodes.
So I'm going to guess.
Guess.
Right. So I'm going to guess this Pokemon is a big serpent-like Pokemon.
I wonder where you got that idea from.
I'm going to say that it's blue.
No,
actually, you know what? No, because if it were blue, we would just have another another
Gyarados.
Jesus Christ!
Go, Brit.
Yeah, another Gyarados on our hands. So I'm going to go with it's a yellow serpent.
Yeah, it's a yellow Gyarados. It's a much cooler Gyarados.
Wait, is it really?
Opinion. Yeah, basically.
Well, it's a creamy yellow. I wouldn't call it yellow, but I'm colorblind.
I totally.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I'm close enough.
Yes, you are. You are
definitely close enough.
I think it's great. I think it's very cool. Water Serpent. It's a great Pokemon. I have one problem with it. It's only water type, and this should have been included in the fairy retyping. This Pokemon absolutely should be a water fairy type. And it would also be like the perfect inverse to Gyarados because fairy type has advantage over dragon.
Yeah.
So this Pokemon should 100% be a fairy type. It even has, I think, a couple fairy type moves that it can learn. So it just feels like an omission by accident, or someone was just like, well, we don't want it to be too OP, so they didn't do it. I'm not sure what the point of that was, but I absolutely think it should have been and could have been a fairy type Pokemon. Otherwise, great design, very cool. You know, it's got that like supernatural magical flair to it, the way it's designed with it's almost feather like, the way that like the scales kind of come halfway up it like a mermaid, and then it's got more of like a, you know, like a beige tone after that, but it's blue on the bottom half. It also has almost like hair, like a mermaid would have. So I think there's like a lot of cool design elements there, but being water type only I mean, this is a great Pokemon if you didn't pick the water starter, but otherwise, you might not want to use it.
It would be cool. Downside. It would be cool too if like they found some like lore thing that they could do where like these are two serpents eternally at war with each other. You know, like a Vati and the other one.
Yeah.
Wait, so have either of you looked at the name origin for this?
No, I'm waiting on you. That's your job.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, you know what? Now we're gonna play reverse then. You tell me what the name origin is.
Milotic. I think like melody.
Yeah, okay. I was going with sound, and I was going with optic, like exotic.
Oh,
it's pretty good. I mean, I would say you're pretty close. Milotic may, jury's out.
Okay.
Be a combination of Venus de Milo, a sculpture known for its beauty, and aquatic, melodic, exotic, or lotic.
This is a sexy Pokemon, man.
It is.
It's
a real sexy Pokemon.
I mean, it sounded like you were about to break out into freestyle for a moment.
I know,
there,
right?
Alex.
It did, didn't it?
I picture like the designer like designing it, and like the game director for Gen 3 comes over. He's like, "Oh, what's this?" And he's like, "This is my magnum opus. It is melody. It is aquatic. It is exotic."
Yes,
and it's like in love with his he like gets a pillow, like one of those body pillows.
To cover his boner after he just made it.
Yeah.
Da, da, da.
Hey, it's a very cool Pokemon. I think we don't have many Gyarados likes, and I think it's a great trope for Pokemon to do, where you get, you have a big ass glow up in just one single evolution. And it really almost looks nothing like the original, except I would argue that this and its original, because it shares at least the same color scheme, is closer together than Gyarados and Magikarp. And there's still the whole like Gyarados, Magikarp, Dragonair, Dragonite thing, where it's kind of like something got fucked up here. It seems like two of these Pokemon are just switched in a way almost. But yeah, this is great. Hats off, good Pokemon. If I caught a Feebas, I would definitely evolve it. I might even use it. If it's in the new game, I might use it. It's possible.
I mean, it makes up for dire run of Pokemon that we've had.
Yes,
pretty much up until this point with this generation. So good.
I agree.
On it.
I agree.
Good on
all right. Well, what's up, boys? What's hanging? What's happening? Doc? Haven't seen Alex in a moment, so why don't you?
Been a little busy.
Give us a check-in.
Been a little busy. Nothing really to report.
Okay, Tom.
Family.
No. He's got some stuff.
I had some family over for a bunch of birthdays that everyone has missed over the last few months. We're hosting Thanksgiving here next week. So I don't know when we're doing that podcast, because that's on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure that out.
So we're having family over here. The baby is now running, which is running.
She went from barely being able to.
Yeah, she's running now.
That's amazing.
She's out of control. I'm gonna say it now. I think she's super smart.
All right.
But she's also a pain in my ass.
Have you given her like tests?
No tests. But the most disheartening thing about all of this is that she keeps increasing her vocabulary.
Okay.
She just started
still doesn't want to say dad.
Yeah, she said mama like a week ago, but she won't say dada, and it's getting to me, man.
Yeah,
the way that I think of it is she's saving the best for last. So
fair enough.
She's saving the best her for her beginning words, but she's funny. She's definitely funnier than me. She dances. She's like, she got a freaking personality already.
Yeah.
It's a weird. I was a very
what is she
shy
into?
Kid.
What kind of toys?
She's into everything. What's really funny? Like, I feel like when I was a kid, my mom said I was obsessed with like Thomas the Tank Engine, so I would hold around one.
Have you seen Bullet Train?
No, but
okay,
I would hold around
story, but
James.
Watch it.
I would hold James the engine in my hand, like, and never let him go.
Okay.
This
James of old
James. Yeah.
Wow.
James.
Okay.
Actually, James is the red engine.
Uh-huh.
There's started the whole thing. Charizard, Pokemon Red. That started the whole thing for me.
Subconsciously, you think that's what happened?
Exactly. No, so she just bounces from toy to toy, does not give a shit, will throw shit around, does not have a favorite toy, could care less about stuffed animals. She likes to take things apart, which I think is very interesting. So I was
little
like,
engineer on your hands.
Yeah, I was like, this is pretty interesting. Like, we got her
engineer.
Yeah, so she likes to take shit apart. And she's obsessed with Miss Rachel. Anyone who has a kid will know Miss Rachel, and that's what she's obsessed with. But kid aside, should we get into
I think we should get into it.
Some other dealings.
I think we should get into it.
All right.
Well, hold on.
What?
Before we just start talking about games, because are you guys just going to talk about God of War?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
Tuna is just going to talk about God of War.
Yeah, I mean, and then
I don't know. You haven't said anything in the chat about it, so I don't even know if you've played it.
Well, because all right.
Because
number one. No, actually, you know what? Let me start here. I finished Mario plus Rabbids. Great game. I 100%ed it. Again, it's very easy for me to play Switch games because I can lay in bed at like 11 o'clock at night and just play them. Right. Yeah. So Mario plus Rabbids 100%ed. I will say that the Mario plus Rabbids finale, the final boss fight, the end of the game, is very underwhelming. And I would say,
like Call of Duty. Call of Duty had a very underwhelming finale.
Okay. Mario plus Rabbids was great up until that final fight. And I was like, oh, this kind of stinks. Like, I did not think that final fight was all that in a bag of chips. Okay. That being said, I was surprised there wasn't post-game content with like a couple more, like much more challenging.
Game seems ripe for it too.
It does. It seems like it's right for, oh, you played the basic game? Here's some serious challenges that we've got for you. This is some serious, you need to get up your strategy, kid. That's what I thought was coming. That didn't come. Maybe DLC.
I wonder if there's so look, this is a game that actually can get pretty complex.
They are adding DLC,
and it can get difficult. I wonder if there's a level of like, we don't want to make a bunch of kids who got up to this where like we don't want to just throw on a really hard end level difficulty ramp because this is still a game for everyone. Like, I wonder if that came into play right there at the end. I don't know. I haven't gotten to it yet. Maybe I will this weekend, but probably not because I'm going to be playing Pokemon. But that's interesting.
All right. So that's that. And then I guess before we don't have to talk about God of War yet, if you want to talk about other couple things, but I'll tee it up. A little preview is that I couldn't play it for the first couple days when it came out.
Yeah.
Because I was traveling for work, and then I had to do stuff to get the house ready for guests and blah blah blah. Anyway, after that, every time I started to try to play it, something would happen. Like I'd be 10 minutes in and Britt would need me, or I would be 5 minutes in and the baby needs me, or I kept getting interrupted. I could not.
Or the house got flooded.
Or the house got flooded. Exactly. So I finally was able to play more than fucking 10 minutes, like I think 2 days ago.
Okay.
And I got in a couple more hours today because I just signed off. I was like, I'm taking a half day because I really wanted to play this. So I'm I'm taking a half day. So I got a couple hours, and so that's teeing it up. So I've played a good chunk that I think I can talk about.
Which realm are you in?
I'm still in the first realm.
What just fell?
One of my fingers. One of my fingers.
I just saw something drop behind Tom, and his eyes just like shot off the screen. You saw it through your camera on the Zoom window.
Oh, it's flying around.
Yeah. Well, I also heard it.
Oh yeah, of course.
Well, but when you say first, so obviously you start in Midgard.
Yeah.
Are you talking Midgard, or you're on?
I'm on
Svartalfheim. Svartalfheim.
I'm on there.
Okay.
I'm in there.
Cool.
So if you guys want to talk about other things that you've done, I haven't really done anything else in terms of personal stuff. So I'll wait to talk about GOW. When
George
you guys
W. Bush.
Well, so here's the thing. I last week.
You were supposed to have beaten it by now.
So I last week planned on playing a lot of it, and then I was like, Tom, you guys were like, finish the original, and so I fucking played like 8 hours of the original game, and then by the time the weekend came and I didn't really have a lot of time to play games, I didn't want to fucking play God of War because I just played the last one. And now I wish I had done the thing I said I was going to do and just watched it on YouTube. I wish I had just watched it on YouTube because I would be halfway through this fucking game right now. And I was like, I felt like burnt out because
but you're also
forced myself through that game.
Yeah, but you're also, for some reason, binging.
Okay, well, so here's the thing on that, and that's what I want to talk about, right?
Survivor.
So I oh gosh, I don't know how to look this up because it's on my phone. But it's okay. I can bring it up on the next episode. But I was on Steve's Survivor podcast. I can't recall the name of it this moment. And it's on my phone, which I'm using as the camera. Tom, are you friends with him on Instagram? You follow Steve? Possibly.
You were on a podcast you can't say the name of?
I can't recall the exact name of it.
You're getting old.
But he has. Well, here's the thing. It's not even out this week. It's not out till next week. So I will.
Your birthday in a couple days. You're getting old.
I am getting very old. So, if you will recall, 6 months ago, while my house was still getting repaired, as it was getting finished, I very badly hurt my back. Basically, couldn't do anything. And there's been a lot of lingering shit to get done at the house. And so for the last few weeks, I basically have just been watching Survivor all day while cleaning and like fixing everything in the house. I got a couple, like recently I bought like 2 refurb Apple TVs, one to put in the garage and one to put in our bedroom because they don't need to be like, the new 4K ones because they're on like a 1080 TV and a projector or whatever. Yep. So now I'm able to go. I never understood why the computer in my phone had the Apple TV app because I'm like, if I'm going to watch Netflix, I'll go into Netflix. But the thing that's so cool about the Apple TV is anything you're signed into, it'll put it on your like watch list and you never have to load the apps. Like it will just let you go right. It's like, it's the dream of how you actually want the fucking smart TV to work, where it's just like all the shows you want to watch, it plugs them in, it knows you're signed into the account and then it just pulls it up and you don't have to go into the app. You don't have to search for it. It's super easy. But the other thing it does is if you have the Apple TV app, I can go from one room to the next and it will just pick up and play exactly where it left off on the last room. And so now I'm just watching 24 hours a day Survivor at the house. I mean, I completely redid our garage, which took me like 3 days. I posted on Instagram if anyone saw it, but like we redid a bunch of stuff on our roof and I put up all this like nice like eucalyptus like siding along the walls and stuff. I've cleaned out my entire office, which I've almost completely redone, which you'll see like either next week or in a couple weeks when I change up my camera look. But I've basically been working at the house and on the house other than doing my job work all day and just watching Survivor. I today finished season 40, Winners at War of Survivor, which was caught up. I am. I have watched 21 seasons of Survivor in the last 3 weeks. So I've been watching.
Absolutely insane.
It's actually only about 8.5 hours Survivor a day.
Yeah, only
every waking moment.
But here's the thing: is I'm doing other work all day at that, which is why also Teresa doesn't care. She's like, I can't believe you're still watching Survivor, but the house looks amazing, so I don't give a fuck.
I guess technically you're still getting paid to do it.
Yes, exactly. Because I'm also still doing my other work, but my other work is mostly either at night or on the weekend. So I'm just like all day long, I'm just cleaning the house, doing Survivor, organizing stuff. I actually, when I finished the garage yesterday, that was it. That was the last thing to tick off my list. And I was like, tomorrow I'm going to play God of War. And then a bunch of plans changed. And so here's the thing is, I remember, I think I texted you guys yesterday, like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be here tomorrow because my niece's birthday is the day before mine. And my mom's birthday, who's turning 70, is the day after mine. And she's in San Francisco right now. So we decided we're going to go up tomorrow. We were possibly going to go up tonight. So now I had to get a bunch of shit done all day. And I have literally done nothing more than the first like 30 minutes of God of War. That's it. I have not made it any further into that game because I've just had too many things to get done. However,
so speaking of Steve, he is in the chat right now.
Oh, great.
And he says, Survivor, let's go. Steve, can you drop the name of your pod for us, please?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Steve and his co-host, Jared, were awesome. Tuna, you would love it. It's great. You go on, they're doing season 3, so you're just going to watch like the episode they talk about.
Season 3?
Because they're going through the whole series.
Oh, my
episode
God.
at a time. It was great. It was great to see Ethan, season 3, and then to rewatch that episode and go on a couple days ago, and now to watch him in Winners at War yesterday and today was great.
Right.
What an amazing season of Survivor. Now I do want to say something. Speaking of
no one ever.
Not next week, but the following week. Something for Tom and you to start thinking about. I will be in New York from the 29th to like the 5th or 6th. I will be on the East Coast.
Cool.
Which is also why I was asking what kind of
December
toys does Avery like.
December
so
or
the end of November I'll be in New York like from the 29th for like a week. I'll be there. Teresa's going for work, so I'm going to travel with her and just work remotely and go see my niece. Hopefully get to see you guys. Maybe go.
I have off the 29th.
There we go. I would love to come see your kid.
I took off
to
see my kid. Yeah.
So something to keep on your radar. However, now that I've explained why I haven't played the new God of War, because I basically burnt myself out on playing the old God of War. If you guys want to talk about it, I don't mind taking my earbuds off for 10 minutes or so, or whatever you need.
No, I think that. Well, no,
we can talk about it without any spoilers.
I mean, I think you already know what I'm going.
Okay.
Tom, do you have any personal things that you want to discuss before we get into it?
No. Because I basically spent the weekend playing it, and now
all right. So here's what I would. So okay. So if you don't mind, I'll start.
Go for it. Please.
So okay. So God of War. I did not look up, research, discuss, read, view anything about Ragnarok before it came out. Right. I just knew it was a game that was coming out. Pre-ordered it. Got Mew Mew behind me there.
Mew Mew, nice.
Yeah. So dope. It's so good.
It's one of the best. Yeah,
it's the best
amazing
collectible I've ever had. For sure.
Wow. So all right. So yeah, it's the weight on this. It's pretty fucking cool. All right. So
if I hit you over the head with it, you would go. You would go to the hospital.
Knocked out. Yeah.
To the hospital.
Yeah.
You would think so.
Yeah.
It's like solid plastic, but
not a wiffle ball bat.
It would probably break if I hit you over the head.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
It probably would break.
But
so it's like PVC, probably.
You would be in bad shape.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So okay. So immediately what I was thinking was with this game was I was thinking immediately, okay, how are they going to do this? Because we left off in God of War, you are souped up, right? You have all your abilities, you have the axe, you have the blades of chaos, you have all these abilities and armor and everything. How are we going to, because the game is, you see the end and there's Thor and you're like, all right, so I'm thinking like, all right, well, what are they going to do? Are we going to not be home when the game starts so we can only call the axe? So the blades of chaos again is something that we're going to have to discover. Like, what's that going to look like? Because it's going to seem a little ridiculous if I don't have all my
glad
items.
You brought this up, because that's all I thought as I sat in the menu. Like,
yeah,
what's the deal here? How are we gonna fucking Metroid Kratos here and make him? Right. You got to get all your shit again.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Was like, are we just going to be getting all my shit all over again? What ends up? Are you? I
got through like the first 30 minutes. So like the starting cutscene.
Did you see the cutscene in the house?
I don't care if you explain this.
All right,
part.
Fine.
You still have the Blades of Chaos.
Yeah. So the game starts. And you have the axe, your shield, the Blades of Chaos, and Atreus is also like doing what he did before, shooting arrows at your enemies. And for me right now, it looks like we are literally just as if God of War just continued. It is a new game, but the story is now just we're gonna keep going.
That's what you want. That's sort of what I've always wanted out of sequels.
Which is what I would want out of a sequel. Because I was thinking about it's the same kind of thing that I'm worried about with Breath of the Wild. That is it going to be like we had all those abilities, we had all this shit, like are we gonna go get the Master Sword again? Do we have the Master Sword right?
Did you have this exact thought while you played it? Because I had this exact thought when I hit the menu and I hit start. This was the first thing that went through my mind. And then I immediately also jumped to Zelda.
Yes,
So it's
I
crazy to me that
also-
you're saying this right now.
I also like immediately thought of Zelda, and then I also thought of Majora's Mask
Right. Yes.
in the sense that I felt Majora's Mask did it well, because it's like you got sucked into a different. That's the sequel. You get sucked into
you
a
also
different
like
world,
you
and all
became a
your
kid
shit's gone.
again. You
Right,
know,
you
it
became a
was
kid again. You can't wield the adult stuff anymore. And
Yeah.
you probably put the stuff back, and also you went on.
you
a
had to
little
return the
adventure.
sword.
Right.
So
You went
it's
on a little adventure, and you know, didn't take everything with you, and that's where you are with Majora. So with God of War, it's nice to see that they are leaning into the fact that, yeah, you do still have all your shit. And you are going to just continue this story from where you are. Yeah, you got to level shit up, and you know, it's been a while. It's been a little. Atreus is older now, and you've forgotten some of the stuff that you learned in the first God of War. So you know, we need to get you back to prime shape. But it's not like you're going on a fetch quest to find your items again.
Yeah.
At least for me right now. So the only thing I would say I mean, the game is gorgeous. It looks great. I love it. I think it's a fantastic game. I'm having a great time with it. The puzzles are great. The quests are great. The combat is great. Everything is great. It's just like God of War 4 from 2018. But the only thing I would say that's missing, and it's the same thing that I'm going to say, is I guarantee you, I feel like it's going to be missing in Breath of the Wild. It's that like sense of wonder that I got when I first went into the lake of the 9 realms in God of War. When you first see that scene, you're like, holy shit, like this is pretty fucking cool. I feel like there isn't that anymore. Yes, the landscapes are awesome, and everything looks beautiful, and the game plays well, and it's a great game, but it's the same fear I have with Breath of the Wild 2, that I won't be like, oh my, like I won't have an oh my god moment anymore, whereas Breath of the Wild I did. Tom, you have been very quiet. Let's thoughts, comments,
Yeah,
concerns,
Tom, have you
questions?
had any oh my god of war moments?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's good.
tons. I'm curious. So you're in Svartalfheim,
Mhm.
where there is
Svartalfheim.
you get your
It
first
it sounds like a Muppet.
Yeah,
you get your first side quest there.
the rigs.
Hmm.
I'm not
Let me
done with
ju-
it.
Okay. Has the what I would call like an oh shit moment happened yet with that side quest? Okay.
No.
I think that sense of wonder that you are like, oh,
Yep.
like that is
Yep.
like that moment is about to happen.
All
Like,
right.
it's the first of many. I've played a ton. I've done everything that I pretty much can as I've been going. There are a couple of like things that are hidden that I'm like, there's an Odin's Raven in this area that like it says I don't have all 4. I have 3 out of the 4. I'm just not gonna stress about it. I'll get that at the end. Although actually the Odin's Ravens, you get like, oh, there's much more incentive, I think, to actually take them out.
I mean,
which
I'm
is cool.
definitely 100%ing this game. Like, I don't care how long
Yeah.
it takes me. I'm definitely doing it.
Yeah.
I'm finding all the scrolls. I'm finding all the lore.
They
I'm finding
say
all the
you can
ravens.
beat the game and then still go back if you miss anything, by the
Yes,
way.
yeah.
You have- I mean,
Although
I-
it's
I
just going to
think-
be more annoying because
I
you're
think
going
it
to have
was
to
like that in the previous
get your bearings again.
game.
Yeah, it is.
The only thing that honestly, the only thing that irked me, and I don't know if, okay, you know how people said like, oh, Thor looks, the way he looks was like they didn't like it.
I don't
No,
remember that, but
yes.
sure.
Okay, whatever. I thought Thor was great.
Thor is fantastic. Every new
Odin-
character in this is Richard fucking Schiff.
It
from
is.
the fucking West Wing, and
It
it
is.
is fucking so good.
You think it's good? I think it's off-putting. I
Mm.
find it off-putting. I just don't get Odin from, I mean, yeah, like I just don't get the sense of,
Who
I
would you
think-
want it as Odin?
I don't know, like someone with
Anthony
a little bit
Hopkins?
more I don't know. Morgan
I'll
Freeman?
I'll tell you this.
Chris
I'll tell you this. When it first was him, you open the door and he's there. I was like, is that Toby from the West Wing?
I knew
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah,
that
immediately.
it was. Immediately that it was. 'Cause
and
it looked
immediate-
fucking just like him.
And immediately I was like, huh, like that's an interesting way to go with this. But
yes. Ooh,
but
see, I didn't have a
there's-
butt moment. I went, they leaned into it, and I didn't like it.
there's that line that the Mimir has like very soon, like immediately after, where
Mhm.
Mimir is like, if he told you the sky was blue, he's a liar. Like,
Yeah.
Like, this is a conniving. He will
Okay.
manipulate you in any way.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so I was like, oh, what a brilliant, different take on it. He isn't, because I think one of the big things, with Odin is like the one we know is Anthony Hopkins from
Yep.
the
But
Thor
that's not
movies,
even
who
the
is
Odin in my mind. Like, that's not the Odin in my mind. But go ahead.
and he is very different. That is like he's a noble leader in
because
those
it's from the
movies.
perspective of the protagonist of Thor, right? So Odin has to be this like grandiose, like generally like perfect, all good, all powerful person. That's not what folklore Odin
and this is right. No, exactly. And this is more in line with that. And so once I kind of got that, I thought they had set up very well in the beginning of the game, like this Odin is like evil in ways that like you can't even fathom, because he literally is like, he manipulates the whole 9 realms, like they bend to his will. And when I got that in my head, I was like, that is awesome. And I am at a point in the game where he has kind of like come back into play, and every single moment with him, I'm
all
like,
right, you know what? I'll say this.
Casting.
You have I would say you've convinced me to look at Odin in a different way.
Yeah. He's gonna buy the undercarriage coverage on that car, Tom.
I'm buying what you're selling. Now that you've just explained it the way you've just explained it, because I did have a sense, not Anthony Hopkins Odin, but like all powerful, almighty, everything Odin.
Yes.
But the way that you're saying it, where he's like a conniving liar, schmoozer, wordsmith, I'm like, okay. I think I'm on board. Whereas Thor is just all brute force.
Yeah.
And I think they portrayed that pretty well.
It's really funny how Thor just sound like, I'm like, did they get Josh Brolin for this? Like,
it did sound like Josh fucking
It sounds like Thanos, man.
It sounded like Thanos. I was like, holy shit, did they get Josh? What the fuck's going on?
Alex, did you ever get into Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology still, or do you still just drop the ball on that? Did you read it? Did you listen to it?
I read it like 4 years ago.
I just remember Tom and I suggesting it to you over and over and saying you would do it, and I don't remember you ever saying you did, so that's why I'm asking. Yeah, that is what my now image of Odin is.
Yeah.
Ever since that,
So. Regarding oh wow moments, there's definitely, is he frozen?
Don't in classic. I mean, I know I spoiled the mole for you. Where the fuck is this book?
Well, you spoiled the mole?
I spoiled it for them. Remember, I said the gender.
He gendered.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
He did gender. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'll say.
Oh, there it is. Sorry.
There you go. That's great content. So I'm not going to spoil anything. I just have kind of broad strokes to talk about. The first half of this game, I think, is plotting. In a way where I liked it, because I'm invested in these characters, and there is a lot of like setting up, specifically like Atreus, because he ends up making some like big decisions as you get closer to I think around the middle of the game is where I'm at, and like they have to like specifically put characters in certain emotional states, and like a lot of the first half of this game is like it presents characters with choices, and they make certain like emotional decisions, and it feels like the second half of the game is like, cool, now we're getting to like, okay, Ragnarok is coming, like what is going to lead to it and stuff. There's a lot of dicking around, for a lack of a better word, in the first couple of realms.
Okay,
but it's very good. And
I was just going to say the dicking around in God of War I'm going to say the first game, but the 2018 game, the dicking around is so good. Yeah, like it's just good. Like when I find a chest, I'm like, this was fucking earned. Like, I feel good about it.
Yes.
Like, I feel like it wasn't like,
and the puzzles, dude.
I wasn't waypointed to it.
Can you sell me on the side quest? Because that's what I wanted to know. Because this is what it kind of sounds like you're talking about.
They're fun.
Yeah.
They're just fun. Like, the game is just fun. Like, I enjoy, like, the side quests they're not like Valhalla side quests, which is like, go over here. Okay, now go over to that location and pick up that and bring it back.
Valhalla is just, Waypoint City. That's what that game is.
So I mean, I would just say everything is just, God of War is literally one of the most fun games I've ever had. It's one of the few games that I've ever played that I've never felt burnt out. while playing in a session, I end the session not because I'm bored or because I'm done, but because I'm like, okay, this is a good place to stop. I got to do stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of other, same thing with Zelda, like Zelda Breath of the Wild, and really almost any Zelda game I've ever played has been very much like I choose when to stop because I just need to do other things, rather than me being like, okay, I'm burnt out, I'm bored, I'm gonna, stop. Whereas I feel like Valhalla was very much, there's a lot of, all right, I'm bored now, I'm gonna stop the game.
Yeah.
So with the side quest, Chris, if you remember, do you remember this is gonna be a weird pull, Dying Light 2, when they were promoting that game and they were like, the open world, if you side with these guys and open up the dam, like it'll flood half of the map, and now like you can't explore this, but this area now has opened up, and if you don't do this, like you won't be able to even explore this part of the map, or now a whole part of the map is open. And it turned out to be complete bullshit. This game does shit like that, where there is specifically in Svartalfheim, there is a part of like something you uncover that becomes like a mainstay of the world, and it literally won't happen unless you like do the side quest.
Got it. Well, is it really a side quest?
I mean, you don't have to do it. It's optional content.
Sure.
It's actually an offshoot of the one that Tuna mentioned, as he does the rig one that he's mentioning, where you like shut down these mines or whatever. You come across another side quest, and that's the one. And so, and the other thing is like they're really character driven. So I don't know how you felt about Mimir and God of War, but like this side quest, it has all to do with him. And like it totally puts him in a different light as you go further, realizing like, oh, this guy, he was a pawn of Odin. He was one of the people that Odin manipulated into doing his bidding. And this side quest like shows basically the consequences of his actions, and it really puts him in a different light. Like it was an aspect of his character that I just was completely unaware of. And so not all of the side quests are created equal, and fortunately the ones where I was like, oh, this isn't been, because I feel like they start out really strong, and that's why I text you like, do the side quests, like this one you need to do. Some of them are a little bit like, oh, it's more of like a smaller side thing, but it is much shorter. It is like a 5 to 10 minute thing. And so that's something I've also really appreciated, is the ones where I'm like,
I remember there being some like really short ones like that, like mini side quests in the first one, but I didn't come across anything too compelling. But I was also, again, kind of just trying to blow through that game as fast as I could.
I also appreciate a game that like is just a continuation of the first one.
I'm so in love with this idea.
I really like
I've wanted it forever.
So look, Tom, don't say anything, but so far it is. So far it's a continuation of the first game, and it's doing exactly what, well, not exactly, but within certain steps. What I just want to keep, I like, that's the kind of game, like I just want to keep playing like now. And I knew this was going to happen, that like I knew it's like fucking box of Pringles, like a can of Pringles. As soon as you pop, can't stop. So now that I'm in, right, I'm in. Now I'm like,
well, like, I'm glad, because I thought there was a chance that you were gonna be like, oh, it's slow going in the beginning. I just kind of want to be, but I'm like, cool. If you like it now, like you're gonna love it. And the last two things I'll say is that the great thing about this game is, yes, it is just a continuation, but it eventually does like build on it in some ways where I was like not surprised, but when it happened, I was like, oh, the game like I'm so in the moment with these characters in the story that when it happens, I was like, oh, I kind of thought maybe this would happen, but I'm surprised in the moment because I'm with the characters. And then there are things that it does that like actually surprise me, that I think are like really smart decisions for the future of the franchise to make it fresh, but it is still very much like, just more God of War 2018.
I have been thinking like, what is the future after this game is done? But Tom, obviously, if you have any insight, don't say anything.
They're going for Jesus next.
Yeah,
I'm honestly
not, gotta go for Jesus.
I am not that far ahead that if I were to spoil anything that I know, you
Mm.
would be like, oh my God, I can't believe you just ruined that for me. Like everything has been like, oh, that's really cool. But I'm not at any point in like story or gameplay wise where I've been like, holy shit, like the guys are never gonna believe this. Like I'm gonna struggle to keep this a secret. Yeah. Yeah. And then the other thing is as well is that, you know, speaking to the
I have to say, I'm really impressed that Tom has been able to speak as much as he has about this
without
game without
spoiling
spoiling anything.
Well, this one I'm like, I really can't, you
like
know.
I'm very impressed, Tom.
You know what's interesting is that like it's not. I mean, so far, like they give you everything that like you start out as like pretty powerful. Like you don't, you know,
great.
You're not starting out like a little bitch.
Great, as an actual sequel should.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you still have like you're back to basics on the armor.
Sure.
But you definitely still have, I mean, you have the axe, you have the blades, you're getting runes.
Yeah.
Right away. You're getting pommels right away. You're getting
what difficulty are you playing on?
Balanced.
Okay.
I was thinking of upgrading, but what I have found is some of the, I would say almost all of the
that's what the standard is, right?
It is.
Yeah. Okay, so that's
what
I
would say some of the normal encounters, I would say all of the normal encounters are like kind of easy. But then when I get to like boss-ish characters, they're tough. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't want to
game gets tougher too.
No, I'm saying like that's probably where I mean that's fine for me. Like I don't.
There's also nothing to unlock on like higher difficulties. Like you can beat the game on any difficulty and unlock everything.
Right. And for me, it's kind of like I feel like I do want a challenge, but I also don't want to be sitting in the same battle like I was with the Queen Valkyrie for like 2 days.
Yeah.
So
you're ready to Elden Ring. You don't need to do this.
Right.
You know?
Oh, actually, that brings up a good little bit of little thing. So the whole time I was playing this game, I kept thinking about Elden Ring and about how easy I think it would have been in Elden Ring to give me someone like Mimir to give me story beats and give me story while I played. Like, you don't need to push it in my face, but you need to give me something other than what Elden Ring did in terms of the story. And I think God of War does it very well.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, Elden Ring is different. It's a real open world game, and I get that. But at the same time, we had a companion kind of, but like, you know, it would have been nice to have a Mimir to kind of have a conversation with me about things that were happening so that it made the battles, fights, things I was doing a little more impactful.
Okay. Yeah.
There's this really great bit toward the middle where you get to one of the realms and you start talking about a character like one.
How far into the game are you, Tom?
I am what I think I am halfway.
Well, don't tell me what realm you're in because I don't know anything past where I am.
No. I'm not going to say that.
Well, there's 9 of them, Alex.
But
so.
you get
but you weren't allowed to get in some realms from the.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
The only realm in the original,
the
only realm in the original you don't visit is Asgard. But
no,
yeah, that's the only one you don't visit.
I don't think this one Svartalfheim was closed.
You go to Svartalfheim in the first one. Yep. Jotunheim and Asgard were the only 2 realms you don't go to in the first game.
Oh, first you just said Asgard. Now you're saying Jotunheim and Asgard.
Until the very end of the game, where you go
right.
through the thing and you scatter the ashes, but you don't explore Jotunheim. You go to it, but you don't really get to do anything there. And then Asgard is like off the thing. So there's this great thing.
I already am, Alex.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
There's this great bit. You're in a realm, and like there's a character who they start talking about who you haven't met yet, who has like a history with the realm, and like their story like ties into the realm, and they like Mimir is just like always mentioning it. You're always talking about it. You're coming across artifacts. You're coming across scrolls that mention this character, all this stuff. And then like later in the game, you meet them, and it's this fucking moment where you're like, you're the person that they were talking about, like, I have all this like stuff that I just learned about you, like I have this perception of you as a character, and then you know they turn it around in certain ways and stuff.
Tom,
The
I'm Googling. I
Every single thing I find says you cannot go to it in the first
cannot
game,
go to
but
it
you
in the
can
first
in the
game.
new one.
Yeah.
well, there you go. All right.
It is. I mean, I will tell you, it is the only realm that was closed. The gate was broken when we never went.
Yeah.
Which
There
is
we go.
fine, Tom. It's okay to be wrong.
Oh yeah, if I'm wrong,
But
I'm
you
wrong.
are correct about everything else. We did go to every other realm besides that and
Yeah.
Asgard.
Also, Game Rant says God of War Ragnarok Svartalfheim alone outshines 2018's Midgard. Tom. Sure.
I love Svartalfheim in the.
It's a great realm.
Is a great
I
area.
just like
great
saying
realm, lots of
Svartal-
fun.
Svartalfheim.
It's so good.
Even I feel like Kratos says it great. Mimir says it great. The actor playing Atreus says it a little wonky.
Well, he's also dealing with like his voice coming in and stuff.
Says it a little wonky.
So I do also like, yeah, you start out like a badass, you have all the stuff, you have the pommels and all this. I will say, as the game goes on, they start adding more additional, like, oh, you have runic charms and you have accessories and you get this thing. And I'm at this point where I'm getting so much stuff that I'm kind of sick of like trying to like spec out my build. And so I just kind of equip shit. Fortunately, the game, like if you are doing the side stuff and finding all the chests, like you're getting enough resources where you don't have to really hem and haw over upgrading and stuff.
That's another reason to do the side quests. The resources that you get from them you're gonna be able to beef up your.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to say I wouldn't do any of them. It was just more of a like, I don't think I'll be 100%, unless like I'm like fall in love with the game, then I'll be 100%ing it. But I imagine that I'm gonna be like, oh, this was an amazing game, but not like this was my favorite game of all time. But just because that's how I felt about the first one. Like I thought like it was like one of the better games I've ever played, but not one of the best. But that's just me, just me. There's a chance. But I'm trying not to set myself up for that expectation that this will be significantly elevated from the first one. Because the biggest problem I had in the first one was I still felt like the combat was very stiff, and like just the way you move and lock onto characters and everything. With the new one having much more like fluid movement and like the way you can run around and how you attack in the new one, it's very possible I might get way more into this. I really don't feel I don't enjoy being like locked in when I'm in a fight in games like that. And I mean, it's part of like Elden Ring. Like you have a little bit more free roam in a way, than I felt like you did in the first God of War. He was just such a tank. So I'm hoping I will enjoy the combat more, because that was really the only thing about it that like every now and then I would kind of get a little tired of. So we'll see. All right. It's a great game. I just didn't think it was the best game.
You played it under suboptimal circumstances.
Yeah.
Like,
well, when I first started
finish it.
To be fair, I got halfway through it when I first started it, but I started it right before holiday games. I don't know what came out that year that made me stop playing it, and then I just never went back to it last year. But something came out last year that I was like, well, I'm fucking playing this now. Oh, Halo came out. So I was like, well, Halo's out. Like, God of War's done. Like, sorry, never finished it, sort of a thing. Pokemon won't do that to me. I mean, I'm definitely going to play Pokemon, but when I'm at home, I'll be playing God of War.
So
Pokemon's
that actually, I was gonna say it. Questions for the pod. I mean, we can, but Steve Levine did ask who is playing and which starter are you picking, but we can save it for.
Yeah, I think we have that in the Discord as well from someone.
Well, there we go.
So yeah, that's gonna definitely come up.
So the other two things I played are I've played because I've been capturing for work. Warzone. Which is Warzone 2 came out. Yeah, 2.0 came out. I'll tell a little rough around the edges, but I'm thinking more from like an issue with Modern Warfare and Call of Duty. Like the menus are just awful, like just so terrible. It also, the map to me, like I need to spend like way more time with it and get it to grow on me. I do think it feels just like a remix of Verdansk, where it's like there's the airport.
I mean, these are all going to feel that way, right? Like they're all going to just be some kind of an island, and
there's
it's going to have you have to have visual markers
that downtown area.
You have to have those things.
Yeah. I will say what is cool is like there was this bit where I was like on the roof of a building, and I was just kind of like, okay, if I want to get away from this building, how can I do it? Cool, there's a ladder. There's a hole, and then it was like, oh, the side of the building is like destroyed a little bit, so there's like a gap where I can drop into the first floor.
Cool.
And so there's like more to that design where everything feels a bit more naturalistic rather than like, cool, there's a building, it is a box that is like this. And then the other thing that's been really cool is you have a backpack now, so you can store a ton of extra stuff. So like, for example, if you want, you can just load the fuck up on armor plates.
Good.
And you can have like 16 armor plates in reserve if you want.
I truly felt it needed to be slightly more PUBG, the original, like in the way that you had like managed resource and items and weapons. So I'm glad they added the backpack.
And you have third person mode now, which is actually becoming very quickly my favorite way to play it. It just feels a little
interesting. I can see that for Warzone.
Yeah. It's so funny. When I started playing Warzone third person, I was like, it's clear they designed the third person for this, and they just shoved it into Modern Warfare 2 without really thinking about how to adapt it, change it up.
Because when we played the third person in Modern Warfare 2, the level design is so cramped and it feels like you move so slow, but I imagine it feels very different and more.
Much
cool.
more.
I got to check that out. I got to download that. Then.
Yeah, I would definitely give it a go. That there's the one thing that's really bugging me though is like the pickups for like the bounties. Instead of, they wanted to make it like a bit more realistic, because in the original game it was like an iPad. Like if you picked up like, most wanted, right? Like put a target on your back. If you survive the next 5 minutes, you get 5,000 cash. Or you pick this up and now you have to deliver it to this location within a time limit. If you do that, you get a bunch of cash. It used to just be, those markers used to just be iPads that like floated above the ground, and they've decided to make it like more like natural, like in world, where it's like a handheld radio that you pick up. But they're so hard to see.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Like, it's like, I'm like, where? And I have to like go in and ping it on the map and shit like that. And like, I'm like, oh, this is so tiresome.
Yeah, that's not good. I don't like that idea.
Yeah. And then there's other cool things like buy stations are always offering the same items. Like they mix it up. So sometimes like you'll have kill streaks you can buy. You can't buy your loadout anymore. You have to wait for a loadout drop, or they have PvE zones that you can go to like take out, and you can get your loadout that way. So yeah, there's a lot of cool ideas. Oh, the Gulag is interesting. So the Gulag is 2-on-2. Whichever team wins, those two players get brought back.
Yeah.
But then they add the Jailer, who is like a juggernaut. He has like a bunch of armor and a minigun. And if both of the teams team up to take out the Jailer, everyone gets to revive.
So it'd be like if on Survivor, where they went to Redemption Island, but instead of competing against each other, they killed Jeff Probst.
Yeah, exactly. You nailed it. And then they all get $1 million, and then they all get $1 million.
Tell me how Forge is. You've been fucking around. You fucked around with Forge, right?
Oh, I haven't. No.
Okay.
When you couldn't jump on. No, because I watched an interview with this guy who was like the lead on Forge, and I was like, this is a great interview because it's explaining to me how I should really just wait for like the full release. Because right now there's no matchmaking. You have to pair up the custom game mode with the custom map correctly. Apparently,
I mean, that's kind of probably always going to be the case until there's matchmaking when it'll do it automatically. But like, that'll always be in the past. No, like, you go to the Forge browser online or whatever. It's like, hey, make sure you download our game type with this map because it's built to be played with this game type.
Yeah, and I was playing Warzone on stream with Slater the other night, and he says he's been fucking around in Forge, and what he's done is like there's a Discord basically that has like. It lays out all the options, and then they have voice chat, so you can just jump in and like play with people, and like, oh, that might be like the way to do it. Maybe I'll check it out. But yeah, I mean, it's not like it's not like, oh, we can just jump on very casually and like, oh, it'll spawn me into like a random thing with a random game. Like I kind of want it to work that way, and I know it's not going to work.
I mean, it will once the full,
but eventually,
what we will be able to do, which is how we used to always do Forge, is I'll be able to go online, find a bunch of like really cool maps and game types. I'll download them all, and then we can play custom games, and I'll just load them up. So then you don't have to do that.
Oh,
which is how that's always worked in the past. I'll be like, Alex, we got 10 new Forge maps.
I'm totally down if
That
the
was
four
best
of
way to do it.
I'm totally down if like the four of us and like we get
The three of
couple
us.
like,
Dan
No,
refuses
no,
to
no.
play.
Three of us.
if we get the three of us and some community folks
Yeah,
to
and
like
someone
do a
from the
day
community.
of forging,
Thank you.
like that would be a ton of fun. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it unless like we can get the gang together.
I opened it up to see what I was going to be walking into because I'm going to have to make a new version of Man Cannon. I'm going to do again the classic version, which I always do, as well as then I do a like new. There's always an addition added
modern,
to it,
yeah.
but I have a depending on what the economy looks like, and I think I can because I can do a lot more than I used to be allowed to do in it. We might be looking at a triangular Man Cannon.
Whoa! I love that.
I'm thinking about it. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to build the 2, right? I'm going to build the standard Man Cannon. I'm going to do some additions to it, as I always do. And then if I can, I should be able to, with the way they have it now, I should be able to build like one side and then copy paste that whole thing to the other side and then one more time. I wanted to do this in Halo 5 because they added that feature where I could literally copy everything and then change the color schemes. But the economy, like the amount of memory it allowed you to, I literally couldn't build 3 platforms of it. But now I actually think I can because it allows me to make a much more detailed and intricate space. So it might be very cool, but we'll see. Who knows? I'm very excited about fucking around with it, but that's going to come after God of War and Pokemon.
Well,
so
that's the rub is like I found it very easy to say I'm not going to jump into Forge because there's so much else.
There's other things to do. Yeah, I texted you guys my Switch. I'm very bummed. My original generation Switch. I really, 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 really did not want to update it, but the battery is fucked.
But
like I can't get even more than like 40 minutes out of the battery on this thing.
oh boy.
And I really want to play Pokemon on it. I really want to play Pokemon on it, and I'm gonna be going away. So it's like time to get Switch OLED. Picked it up today.
Nice. Did you get the Pokemon? They sell like an
No. I just got the OLED Switch, just with the normal Joy-Cons, which I don't use.
Is that the Hori pad?
Yeah, the Hori pad rules. So here's the thing. I noticed, Tom, I picked this up and I went, oh, this is just the same
deck.
size.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah,
it
makes it the same size.
Same size as the Steam.
Yeah.
Tuna, look at this thing. This screen is so much nicer that the games look nicer. Like honestly, this feels less like a toy than it used to.
And the hinge too.
Yeah. Oh man, the hinge is so great.
Smooth, buttery smooth.
Very excited about playing Pokemon. I know the performance isn't going to be great. I also know that, like they said, there's going to be a day 1 patch, which is not available yet. So we'll see.
They've been playing. The reviews were all based on it though.
Oh, okay. So great. Yeah. We'll see. Again, I'm not coming to Pokemon for performance. I do hope at some point or another, their reviews get like heard enough that Nintendo, or they just care enough that people who buy these games are
sub 80 Metacritic score is a pretty big indictment of the state of it.
But we'll see with the sale. I don't know. They got to do something. Even if we don't get a fucking Pokemon game every year, guess what? That's fine. Like it's fine. Course. That's okay. Yeah. But like I really think the bigger problem is, of course, the Switch hardware, and just this company is like they're not the best at building these games, and it's partially because of how much they have to, like the assets they have to build and all the shit they have to do to make it work. But it's like, it feels like they need to get a Nintendo, like it feels like an in-house Nintendo team who knows how to like pull magic out of a hat. We fucking play like a Breath of the Wild game or a Mario game. We're like, I don't know how this looks so good on this Switch hardware, but I've never played a Pokemon game and been like, how does this look so good on this Nintendo hardware? It's like, it's usually like, boy, this looks like the worst first party title that Nintendo puts out every time. Right. Like I don't think Pokemon's ever been a front runner in terms of graphics. What were you going to say, Tom?
I was just going to say, in a world, I can't believe I'm living in the same year as the graphics that I've seen in God of War and the videos I've seen of Pokemon. It's a really weird, and they're both like AAA.
Yeah, I mean, with God of War, you do have to remember, like, you're playing on a PlayStation 5. The Switch came out 6 years ago almost, and it's a handheld. So they should have a very big difference, but they shouldn't be. It shouldn't be where it is. These games should look better.
The big thing for me is that Breath of the Wild looks substantially and plays substantially better than the Pokemon games that have come out 5 years later. Like it isn't just of course, if we had a new Switch that could allow for, you know, better frame rates, more consistent frame rates and stuff, that'd be great. But I don't think it would solve, it wouldn't be like, oh, Switch Pro comes out tomorrow, all of our technical and graphical issues with Pokemon are fixed. No,
it would still not look great. It would just run at like 60 frames solid, right? Like that's like the difference. Is like we would just get a solid frame rate. Kind of like how Breath of the Wild didn't run well on the Wii U, but it ran pretty great on the Switch, you know?
Yeah.
Minus what area was like there was one area Breath of the Wild where you,
I think the forest.
Look,
it was.
Let me tell you
forest.
something.
Yeah.
If Pokemon looked like Breath of the Wild, I don't think I would have a problem. I wouldn't have a fucking problem.
So I will say this: the models in this game are the best they've looked.
Oh, the models look
the
fantastic.
Pokemon models are the best they've looked yet. Even like someone compared the Charizard model from the last Pokemon to the new one, and he got a fucking glow up. So I'm at least happy about that.
If you wanted to make it look like Wind Waker, I think it looked better than what it looks like now. In all seriousness,
I think they should go more stylized.
They should go more like that.
Like, they should go more stylized. Yeah.
Oh my god, a Pokemon Wind Waker look. Did you see that?
Fucking awesome.
Did I send you that?
Yeah, I'd be super into that.
It was months ago at this point, but it was like someone made an animatic that was like, what if it looked like?
I have no idea what that means.
Drawings.
Yes, animatic.
Yes, it was awesome. It was
like
very
an animation.
Awesome.
It was like an animation. It was meant to be like if Pokemon Red and Blue looked like the cover art, like if that was the.
It was very cool.
The box art, it looked really.
It was a little too stylized, I think, because it had a lot of like it was like 2D sprites in a 3D world kind of a thing. But it was very cool.
So real quick before we move on to news, there is one more game that I have played. I'll do, and I'm at a preview point. It's not a full review. I've been playing Marvel's Midnight Suns. I'm doing the video review for that for GameSpot. We put up our preview today, and it's funny because it's like, wow, two great Marvel card games have released this year: Marvel Snap and Marvel's Midnight Suns. This is by the XCOM people for Axis. It is a turn-based RPG, and
I thought this got pushed to next year.
No, they said it was meant to come out like November something or October, and then they said, some point before the end of the fiscal year, and then they made it like December 3rd. So it's coming out the last possible second, basically. It is the gameplay is it's a turn-based thing. It is with a bunch of the lesser known Marvel characters like Ghost Rider and Blade. I mean, not lesser known, but it's not. I mean, Iron Man and Captain Marvel are there, but the focus
it's not the main MCU crew.
Yeah, it's more on the occult characters. Magic from X-Men, Nico from Runaways. If you watch the Runaways TV show, she's one of the main characters. So yeah, it's turn-based. You use cards to do attacks, and based on. And then there's also like environmental things like, if there's like a crate, you can like jump off, you can leap off of that and do like a smash attack, and that doesn't cost towards using the cards and things. So there's some interesting stuff there. Gameplay is a lot of fun. Story is very cookie cutter. Like it feels like a phase 2 MCU movie where it is like just kind of and I will also say that there's a lot of extraneous gameplay stuff like take Iron Man out to the river and like have a heart-to-heart and build up your friendship with him, and like there's like this whole social element. There's this thing called Superlink, which is meant to be like a social media platform just for superheroes, and like you're meant to like send messages to people to like build out your relationships. And so far I have found none of that compelling. Like I just kind of want to play the main game, and at the point where I'm at now, it's kind of like forcing me to check this out. It's like upgrade the Abbey, like put a new bed in your room that you like sleep in, like get a new chaise lounge, and I'm like, I don't care about any of this because none of it is anywhere close to as compelling as like the battling and the card game aspect of it. So we'll
Kind of
see.
like Hades.
I mean, I don't know how you felt about Hades. I liked the side conversation stuff way more with that game.
No, not the side conversation. The fact that you could deck out your room and all the crap and being like, yeah, who cares? It was cool. Like, it was a cool thing to buy, but it wasn't something that I was like.
It was definitely better implemented in that game than what we've got going on here.
I said this, Hades, possibly my top 5, but
it's a great game.
All time.
It's fantastic.
Every time you say this, and then I ask you to go back and think about, like,
I know.
Super Smash Brothers, Melee, Halo 2, Halo 3, God of War.
That's why top 5s,
7 different Zeldas,
top 15s, and top 20s are bullshit.
Bullshit, baby.
Yeah.
And then also the other thing that I think hurts all that fact is all the character animations and models look like they're from like over 10 years ago. Like, it is very like, hi, I am Tony Stark, and I mean, the voice acting's fine, but like the animations are like you're having you're meant to be having like a meaningful conversation. It's just like a model
isn't that
like
kind of the way that Assassin's Creed does it? It's like you get into a conversation in Assassin's Creed, you're like in this great area, they go right in, shoulders up, right, and it's just over the shoulder, over the shoulder, over the shoulder.
But I'm gonna show you.
No, because Alex, Assassin's Creed though does a lot of like mocap and face acting.
And like movement.
And Tom's talking about how like this is like GTA, like Vice City, where like the guys are just kind of like puppets almost,
like mechanical,
and they're much more rigid, and it's not. Yeah.
Here, I'm pulling up this clip here.
This is great for a podcast, right? Oh, okay.
Hang on, we're gonna get to this bit with Blade in a sec.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll be honest, just the models themselves look like they're from a previous generation.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Which is fine. Like, look, it's fine. The games don't have to, and not everything needs to have like unbelievable fidelity and like, you know, high end. Like, it's fucking fine. Like, I bought Pokémon. Like, this game looks like it was made, you know, 15, 20 years ago almost. Like, you know, like graphics. I understand that that's actually like egregious because it's running at a higher frame rate than Pokemon, like those games were and resolution, but still, it's not great.
Yeah, I would say Pokemon graphics are egregious at this point, but I've always kind of let it go because I always thought the gameplay was a lot more fun, and like that was what I really played.
And it's like I want to know what the new Pokemon are, and like
like
I want to do whatever the new thing is. It's like, this is the first Pokemon that I could play a gym in any order I want. Like, I want to do it.
You know.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be an issue. I just kind of wish either they had gone like a stylized thing.
Totally
they didn't try to go for like a realistic looking thing. But the thing
or
with
just
me
try and go
is
for like another developer or something.
Or if it was like we're not. There isn't, you know, these things are only to move the story along, you know, the cutscenes.
Yeah.
We're going to focus on the battling. But the amount of times this game is like, no, like go talk to Blade in the yard and have a heart to heart with him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I need the game to make me like feel more immersed in this. And it's just like not that. And
you know what game does make me feel like I'm immersed? God of War.
Yeah, okay. You know what game does make me feel like Tom? I'm still addicted. I just want, and we can move on after this, but I'm still addicted to Snap. I'm at like 712, I think, is my collection number.
Oh, you have a higher collection number than me. Wow. Holy shit.
Well, because late at night sometimes I'll be watching Survivor, and I'm just
one of those
lose track of time. Dude.
Oh yeah. I'll be like, I'm gonna play 20 minutes Marvel Snap, and I'm like, I just played an hour and a half of Marvel Snap.
you know what? Top five.
It's a great Tuna. You'll love this game. It's a great game.
Look, I told you before, I can really only play one game at a time, so it's
but
really
it's a
hard
phone game. I'll say this. It's a game that literally you could pick up and play a match in 5 minutes and just close it. Like, that's what's so nice about it. Matches are like 5 minutes long. But wait till you're done with God of War.
Okay, but I forgot to tell you guys. Britt and I watched Barbarian.
Ooh, all right.
That movie asks more questions than it answers.
It does indeed.
The quintessential.
It does indeed.
Like that line.
Why does he have a bunker? What the fuck?
When did he build it? How did he build it? Why is he still down there? How is he feeding himself? How is the woman feeding herself?
Spoilers for Barbarian.
I mean, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It does ask more questions than it answers.
Yeah.
It was still pretty good. I liked it.
Solid horror film.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Anyway,
I saw Black
fine.
Panther, best MCU movie for Phase 4. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
it's also, I like it better than the first Black Panther. I thought it was, and that's crazy because Chadwick was, you know, unbelievable. But
I think in a lot of regards, it's a stronger film.
Also, by the way, they sort of, the suit still technically has the whole like kinetic energy thing, but they dialed it way down, whereas they played it up so much in the first Black Panther movie. And that really took away from me, because the whole thing that made Black Panther strong is the suit's fucking vibranium, and he's got the flower, so he's got the superpowers. He's basically like, super serum. He doesn't need this other like energy thing that like kind of made him feel lamer in a way.
So here's my question about the MCU. I feel like we've been in perpetual Phase 4 now.
Well, it's over now. This is
over. What do you mean?
That Black Panther's the end of Phase 4.
Oh shit!
And Phase 5 is shit's about to start popping off big time.
Man and the Wasp.
Because Phase 5 is going to be the beginning of sort of how like Phase 2 like really is like where like the Infinity Stones kind of started and the bigger picture started. Phase 5 is going to start the big picture now. Now they've set the table. The new heroes have been shown.
Have they set the? Oh yeah, I guess they have. Yeah,
the new heroes have been shown.
Loki.
Yeah. And Quantumania's got Kang in it. So like this shit is beginning now. Like all of the little things that happen in these movies, like with the multiverse stuff in Spider-Man and the multiverse of madness, and now like there's little pieces that have happened in a lot of these recent things, and now the table's set, and we're gonna start feasting next year. Very excited.
There is one more quasi Phase 4 project. Guardians Holiday Special is next week.
I'm actually really excited for this.
For it.
I had no interest in it until I saw that trailer.
I think I really enjoyed Hawkeye just a little bit more because it was set during Christmas time.
Yeah.
And it came out during Christmas time. And I just liked it more because of that.
Also, like, the actress who
Haley Steinfeld.
Yes, she was great.
Yeah, she was great. I'm just saying, in terms of the aesthetic, like the fact that it was so like it had to do with Christmas kinda, and it came out at Christmas. It was.
I mean, I always love the Doctor Who Christmas specials, right?
Hey, look, Christmas special. All right, look, you want to say holiday special? Holiday? Actually, no, because I learned everything I know about Passover because of Rugrats Passover.
Yes, the Maca babies.
Dude, what? So
no, not the Maca. That was the.
Oh, sorry. Yes, that's that's the Passover.
That was the Hanukkah one.
Oh, the Hanukkah one.
Wait, so you learned everything
because they also have a Passover one.
Do they have a Passover one? I don't remember the Passover one. I remember the Hanukkah one. I loved it. And the funny thing about that
Angelica's the Pharaoh. She parts.
Yeah, and Tommy's Moses.
Moses. It's great.
So there's
great content.
The Hanukkah special one. We don't in England. There aren't a lot of Jewish people. The Brits like ran them out of the country because in like you know this, Tuna. They like in the 1300s, like Britain's economy collapsed, and they basically just blamed the Jews, and so they like ran them out. So we don't have a lot of Jewish people.
So the tale is all this time for Europe.
Oh yeah, and the rest of the world.
Yeah. That's true.
I had no idea what Hanukkah was until the Rugrats special, and we had one my friend Rosie Sharma. She was like the one Jewish person in all of the school. She was a good friend of mine. Her mom came to the school to like teach people about Judaism and all this stuff, and we went over Hanukkah. And I was answering questions like no one, every fucking other kid looked like, what is a Jew? And I'm there, and I remember her being so impressed, and I like came clean after it, and she was like, I was like, I'm gonna be honest, I only know this because I'm obsessed with the Rugrats Hanukkah special. And she was like, oh my God, I love it. Like that, it was so good. Like my daughter watches it all the time. Well, it is great.
Will Brown in the Discord brought it up recently. It was like,
oh, really?
This is how
this is how you learn about Hanukkah, man. If you're in the 90s. Yeah.
Although I will say, Alex and I have, because we grew up in Long Island, and I didn't realize this, of course, until I left, like when we were younger, but like, we have a lot of Jewish friends like on Long Island, like like we would go to bar mitzvahs.
Wait, hold on a second. You didn't realize you had Jewish friends until you
left?
I
didn't realize how different that is from the rest of the country.
Right. Okay, that makes more sense.
Because in Delaware, I don't think I knew one Jewish person.
I mean, we knew a lot of different people here.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, but you don't realize. You just assume
you
Most
don't realize
people just
that it's
assume
not-
when you're a kid
No,
that every place is like
yeah.
where you are, right?
I don't mean
and then you
to
leave and you're
sound-
like, whoa, everywhere else is fucking different.
Yes, I don't mean to sound like a dick, but
Here we go.
the tri-state area is very like this tri-state area, Long Island, New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, is very different than other places.
Yeah.
If you don't go to big cities.
Yeah.
It's like what? Like
Yeah.
I will say this. I'm not going to say who it was. I'm not even going to give you context on what it was. But there were people who I met who saw me. They were from Middle America. And they said to me, without hesitation, I've never seen a dark-skinned Italian before. Okay. And then the next sentence out of their mouths was, your parents, you guys are in the mafia, right?
Oh my God.
And they were dead serious.
Yeah.
So yeah. Like I just laughed it off. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's just like whatever.
Yeah.
But like to me, it's like,
it's surprising.
The mafia is a joke, and then you get the serious question, and they're asking you seriously because your family is from Sicily, even though you're 3 generations out. You have dark skin.
Are you're 3rd
generations out?
So wait, your great grandparents came here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
I thought you were like me. I thought you were like 2nd generation.
I mean, back in the day,
all my grandparents were born like a year or 2 after my great grandparents came here.
Oh, my grandparents were born in Italy.
No, none of my.
I thought you were like me.
No, they literally came to Ellis Island. Boom, baby.
Did they like speak Italian at home around you ever, or
no? That was gone by the time. That was gone by the time my mom was growing up. A little Italian was spoken.
That's why my mom taught Italian, was because my grandparents would speak Italian whenever we'd have like family gatherings, and he'd get mad. He cursed in Italian all the time too.
No, that my mom. Yeah, my mom was like, they would talk a little bit of Italian at holidays and stuff like that. They never taught it to them, and then obviously it was never taught to me.
Yeah.
So
I've been doing it on Duolingo.
It was quite the quite the little conversation.
Yeah, that's wild. People are weird, man.
I mean, back in the day, Italians were as derided as like.
I mean, like 50 years ago, that was the case.
Right? And it wasn't until the whole problem with white supremacy, it is like inherently exclusatory. So like it only diminishes, like it only gets smaller. So they just were like, you know what, Italians.
Come on in.
Come on in. And you see, I think
they're like, we'll put your Columbus guy on a pedestal. We're like, well, he's not even really Italian, though.
Well, I will say,
technically, like he's like a Spaniard. Like, what are we doing?
I will say that the same people also said to my Jewish friend, "We've never met a Jew before." So I was like, well, we are really we are hitting we are banging on all cylinders here. Here we go.
Wow. Unbelievable.
What else do you want to say? Anything else to my group of friends here? What else you got?
So, oh boy.
We'll do a little news, a little game, and a little mail, or just blow through it?
Yeah. Let's blow through it, as they say.
It was weird. So I played one that said news short, and it was just literally.
Oh, was that?
I guess at one point I was like, "Oh, do I want to do this or this?" And I loaded up both, and I was like, "No, that sucks." News. I got a new Switch OLED. I'm actually very happy with it. So I just wish I didn't have to buy it. Tom, what else is going on in the news world?
Witcher 3 is getting its next gen update.
I think you said that last week.
In December. No, because it was announced on Monday. So
okay.
December 14th, I think. So that's going to be free for everyone that already owns it. But yeah, it's just updating it for next gen. They also showed off. Did you guys play the original Splinter Cell on Xbox?
No, I never did play the original Splinter Cell.
There you go. So the original Splinter Cell is being remade. They showed off some concept art for it. But it seems that it is a little ways out because they said we're going dark.
What does that mean?
for a while. Like they're not going to talk. They're just going to like have their heads down making it instead of like
Okay.
taking time to like talk.
You mean
about
something
stuff.
that George R. Martin should have been doing for the last decade on Song of Ice and Fire?
Fucking got him over
Got
here.
got him.
I still believe that he was so mad about the direction of those shows that he just stopped working on it, or just like I think he has no interest in putting it out until Game of Thrones has like removed the stain of the end of the season. Like honestly, because if you've read some of those interviews where he talks now and he's like, oh yeah, I never even like had contact with D&D after the 5th season.
Yeah.
Like they didn't even talk to me, and I would reach out and
D&D
I'd be like, what are you guys doing?
Idiots.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Just
Yeah.
hand it off to someone else.
I know D&D were fucking morons.
I'll be mad about this forever. I still haven't watched House of the Dragon.
So they someone wrote like a wild theory that they were like, I don't believe it for a second because it doesn't make any sense, but they were like, HBO is forcing George R. R. Martin to not finish the book because the show ended so badly that they don't want like a good version of it to come out to remind people how bad HBO, like how bad Game of Thrones was.
Well, and they're doing this Jon Snow show, which it sounds like a lot of the cast is coming back, so we're getting a sequel to Game of Thrones. So who knows what the fuck's going on, man? That's so wild.
And then the last thing is the Game Awards. Nominees were announced. I'll handpick a few categories. We can go over who we think's gonna win / what we think about them. Game of the Year, some interesting nominations here. God of War, Ragnarok, and Elden Ring, obviously both in contention for Game of the Year. Then we have Stray, which I never even got around to playing.
Yeah, I think I have it downloaded, actually.
It's very fun.
There we go. Chris's favorite game of the year, Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
It was, you know what? I really enjoyed it, but it was too long for me to finish. It's too long. I put in over 20 hours into that game, and it
was still like at the very beginning,
like a third of the way through the game. Like, so you know, it's too much. It's unfortunate, but now I know. Now I probably won't ever do another long JRPG again after that.
Horizon Forbidden West. Maybe it'll. I mean, it won't win, but it got it kind of Horizon. The first Horizon kind of got taken out of contention because that year Breath of the Wild launched, Mario Odyssey, bunch of other things launched. So it's been a little bit of a slower year. I mean, obviously we've got God of War and Elden Ring with the two big heavy hitters, but it was able to sneak in. And then A Plague Tale Requiem is here in this top 6, which is interesting.
I feel like instead of Stray or Xenoblade, Tunic should be there. Personally,
I am surprised Tunic was not.
Tunic was fucking fantastic.
We all know Elden Ring or God of War is going to take this trophy.
Yes, of course.
Yes,
but
of course.
Which one?
God of War. It's going to be God of War.
God of War.
I think it's going to be God of War.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tunic, let's talk about some of the indies. Because best indie, we have Stray is up for it.
I know, and that makes me mad because since it got on the Game of the Year one and the other one didn't, it already tells you that they believe that this is the better game, and it's almost a gimme because that happened in previous years where the indie game that ekes its way into the Game of the Year as a nominee is usually the one that wins the indie game nominee, and it's kind of like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's so stupid.
I hope I'm wrong, but
I mean, look,
that's not better than
Tunic. But your logic is correct. Like, if you think that Stray should be nominated for Game of the Year, but then Tunic wins Best Indie Game, then why wasn't Tunic in the category for Game of the Year? That logic is sound, and
Tunic's one of the, in my opinion, it's one of my favorite games I've ever played of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's a what?
Yeah.
Oh, top five.
It's it's a big five.
Big five.
So it's Tunic, Stray, Sifu, Neon White, which out of all of these is probably the one that, like, personally, like, I spent the most time playing, would be my pick. Because I never got around to Stray, and Tunic is one that I really do want to get it back to. And then Cult of the Lamb, which I really enjoyed.
Cult of the Lamb,
good game.
Oh, Cult of the Lamb's great game. I enjoyed playing it on my Steam Deck. You
so
know what?
You think Stray's gonna win that one, yeah?
I mean, just out of like, so the people that pick this, they do talk to like the kind of people that are also going to vote on it, right? So it's not like it was just pulled out of a hat. So the fact that Stray's on there,
it's outlets. It's all gaming outlets,
right? So it's like, I hope not. I hope not. I don't think Tunic's that's good.
The logic is sound, baby.
I mean, sorry, I don't think Stray's as good. Tunic blew my mind. It did something. Honestly, the closest game I could compare it to is Fez. Like the game.
No, it's its own thing. It is
its own thing. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it's so truly unique what that game did.
So the aha moments in that game are so good. And puzzles are so good.
There's that one final one towards the end of the game too, where it was like easily one of the coolest things I've ever done in a video game. It's like a top 5 video game moment for me, like as a game player.
Okay, you know what you want to talk about top 5 video game moments? I think I would say that for me, pulling the Master Sword out of the pedestal in the Temple of Time is top 5.
Yeah,
top 5 games.
Totally great. I would actually put this up there with that in my top. It was unbelievable what we did, Alex, in that game. It was amazing. I mean, we both spent money and bought a physical copy of the fucking booklet from this game because we loved it so much.
You know what? I couldn't bear myself. I'm not kidding. I couldn't bear myself to open the cellophane
because you don't want to fuck it up.
Yeah.
I ordered a second one because I realized that I was gonna fuck it up, and so I ordered a second one that I'm gonna put away and keep in a safe place so that I can like thumb through the other one. Because when I opened it already, I was like, oh, I have to like crease it to open it all the way. And
I didn't want to do that.
Up. Yeah, I wish we could have got the one that guy in Spain makes because it's got the hardcover and I feel a lot better about it. But this one being the soft cover,
this one's like, pretty cool.
It's very cool. You know what game award for the first time ever, Tom. And I don't actually care who wins, but for the first time ever, I actually know 4 out of 5 of the content creators of the year on the Game Awards. Because a lot of the time it's been like streamers or people like, there's like one name on there who I know, and that's the person who wins. But this is the first time that I can recognize who 4 out of 5 people here are. One of them is shocking, is Nibelian, who
literally just like jumped off of Twitter.
Yeah, but he was like he basically like allocated and like sourced news on Twitter.
It's bizarre because he wasn't doing anything. Because it wasn't like he was like Wario 64 where he had like deals and like he was actually like a partnered like deal. There was nothing.
But there were clearly people telling him things, right? That was the thing. It's like he had the right reach and the right connections.
He had the right reach.
This guy 100%. Nibelian.
Yeah, but do we know who Wario 64 is?
No one does.
Ooh.
No one knows who Nibelian is either.
What is he going to use when Twitter is done?
I think he's got I think there's a Wario 64. What's that one people were jumping to? Not Mastodon. That other new one that people were like, this is going to be the new thing. And it's definitely not going to be the new thing. I don't know.
Oh, co-host or whatever?
Yeah, co-host. He's got a co-host. That's not going to happen. Look, Twitter's either going to just die very soon or Elon Musk's going to like slowly cower away. One or the other is going to happen. And then we'll see what it is. But it's Carl Jacobs, who is like great. And Ludwig and his, by the way,
Svartalfheim.
And QT Cinderella. But like, so I worked with all these people. We had them all on our shows at G4, and QT was actually one of our the hosts that she was the co-host on Hey Donna, which was one of the shows that I made. So the fact that she's on here, also she dates Ludwig, so I think it's kind of weird that they're both on here. But it's just weird. Like I'd never ever, whenever this one came up, it was always like a joke, and I'm like, oh wait, I know these people. So it's kind of fun. Were there any other things worth talking about in there, Tom?
No, but there is a projection happening on Twitter HQ in San Francisco. There's a projection on the wall, and it reads Elon Musk, bankruptcy baby, supreme parasite, petulant pimple, apartheid profiteer, dictator's ass kisser, lawless oligarch, insecure colonizer, cruel hoarder, space Karen.
I like Space Karen.
Space Karen's great. Mediocre man child, pressurized,
Mediocre
privileged,
man
petty
child.
racist, megalomaniac, worthless billionaire, bankruptcy baby, supreme parasite. Oh, we're back to the beginning. Yeah, it's
great.
been nice knowing you. No, I mean there's a bunch of other categories, obviously, but that it's all that kind of same handful of games being tossed around. Best performance. Let's talk about this one real quick, because we do have Christopher Judge as Kratos, but we also have Suni Suljic Svartalfheim as Sonny, as Atreus. So they're going toe to toe.
All right.
If you had to pick one,
do these guys like show up to the awards and accept the award, or they not give a shit?
They because I think Christopher Judge won best performance in 2018. Yeah, they show up.
His performance is great. I think it's better than Atreus so far, but
I haven't played Immortality, but I heard people loved it.
And yeah,
so
it's
I don't.
On,
that could be like a sneaky win right there.
So Immortality is if like especially if like maybe Atreus and Kratos like split votes. Immortality is a Netflix game now too. You can download it.
Yeah.
There, but it's on Game Pass as well if you want to do
Are you gonna come and go to the Game Awards this year or no?
No, it's too late to plan anything. I started like planning stuff and then like time got away from me and I was like, oh, it's like in 2 weeks time. I'm not doing that. Especially because like I'm pretty sure when I got COVID last year, it was from the Game Awards.
Well, yeah, but now you should be boosted. You should get
I'm boosted. I'm boosted and shoosted, but no,
yeah,
it was more of like
booster.
It was more of a timing thing, and best mobile game, Marvel Snap is on there.
That's gotta win it.
I would hope so.
It's gotta. I can't imagine anything being that.
Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact is here, Apex Legends Mobile. I don't know. I feel like Marvel Snap has the momentum, especially right now.
Yeah.
To overtake it. Anyway, there's a ton of other categories. You can go check it out there. And also the other reason why I'm not going is I think I enjoyed doing like a watch along on live stream.
Yeah, that's fair. It was cool going though. We had a good time.
Cool. I went and I did it.
But nothing will top the guy that said fuck the Oscars going up and being like, hey, remember when I said fuck the Oscars? Now I won. Like that'll be the best moment of Game Awards ever. So like that's fine.
Seeing Sting perform it live was cool. Remember that?
But seeing Imagine Dragons perform live was fine also.
I actually thought that Imagine Dragons song was like, it was pretty great live performance.
What is the take on Imagine Dragons? Because Teresa and I, we talk about this. Yeah, okay. So are they like a Linkin Park-ish kind of a band where it's like, oh, they have like a
in
song
like 20
or two
years,
that like
people are gonna be
through.
Like, you know what, we love Imagine Dragons.
It's like whatever songs they can use to like sell cars and commercials, it's like the one that people like, and then everything else is shit. Is like that what the band is? Like I'm not really sure what the deal with them is, but
I think that song for that show, Arcane, is like genuinely very good, and he is a very talented singer.
Yeah. But that's about it.
Anyway.
All right. Before we play a game, Mal. Alex, quick question. Where are you in One Piece?
We just we just left. Everything's done with Nami's backstory and
great
story now.
Great.
So now we're on the open seas.
Oh, so you finished the Arlong Park saga?
Arlong, yeah, that's done.
Okay.
So that's where I am. I mean, I have like what, tens of thousands of episodes.
No. I'll say this, Alex. You are getting very close to some of my favorite early moments in the show. Okay. One of which they finally in the manga.
Yeah.
This last week had, I would argue, like this year, the show and the manga it's been just paying off like the last 20 years of like all the work they put in. Okay. I mean, talk about table setting, but this last week was like probably one of the most important and lore heavy chapters of all time. So much shit was just like revealed and talked about. But one of the things that they like call back to finally, it's something you're not next, but like soon coming up on, that I've just been like, I've had questions about for like 900 episodes, you know, like for like 800 episodes. I've been like, I want to know more about this thing that they like gave us a peek into and they didn't talk about more. And there's very clearly like mystery surrounding. We don't know what the results of this thing was. And I've just been waiting because it was one of my favorite moments of the whole show. And they finally just paid it off and it was unbelievable. And I'm so excited about it.
Well,
it's so good.
All right. I mean, I'll talk to you in 2 years when I get there.
Let's do quick mail. If you want to send us emails, you can go to email@unrankedpodcast.com, or you can go into our questions for the pod in our Discord. You can click the link in the show notes to get you there. This first one was from Spiffy. Which series do you think had the biggest glow up, either in terms of game one until now, or just from a single game to the next? I mean, game one till now, it's kind of hard to like. You could be like fucking
Assassin's
Super
Creed
Mario,
2.
like, you know.
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed 2 is the one that like everyone always talks about.
What do you
like
mean?
Assassin's Creed 1 to
from
Assassin's
1
Creed
to 2.
Yeah. As like,
oh, okay. So you're doing
Creed...
from a single game to the next, not from
yeah.
game one till now. I was doing game one to okay.
I mean,
so
game
to
one
the next.
to now.
No, I would say game one till now would have been great if it was to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but the fact that it's to Valhalla doesn't look good.
But that can't be game.
What?
Oh,
Assassin's Creed 1 to.
If you Valhalla is an infinitely the first Assassin's Creed is one of the worst of the Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, but Valhalla was not like when I really think about going.
You played like 100+ hours of that game.
You love that game. I don't know. Can you make up your mind with?
It's because he can't help himself from trying to do everything, and if he can't do everything because it takes too much time, now.
But I did do everything. I did do everything, and I think the problem with
they did too much.
When I did everything in Odyssey, I felt satisfied and I felt like I had a lot of fun doing it. With Valhalla, doing everything was a chore. And it was just to do it. Whereas Odyssey was a lot of fun. And by the time I got Thor's hammer and Odin's spear in Valhalla, the game was over. So it was like, well, that sucks. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, yeah, continue. Sorry.
I mean, game one till now, you have to go back.
Until now, it's almost any game. Zelda.
Yeah, like you have to go back to like the sprite era, right? Like just be like, okay, how about fucking the original Donkey Kong? You got Mario here, and now you could go to like the modern Donkey Kong and the Mario games.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's actually in the spirit of this question because it's such a long time spanning. Maybe Tom's answer was better. Like the Assassin's Creed 1 to 2 was. Well, GTA has to be on that list, right?
Huge,
like
huge.
The transition even just into 3D, and then if you just look at fucking GTA 3 to GTA 5,
no,
it's crazy.
You know what? This question might be better if it were asked, what game has completely gone down the tubes? I would say Sonic has had a dim down, right? Glow up, dim down.
I think the thing about Sonic is that it's never really been like great. It had like some good 2D games.
First game was great.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I'm saying is we're gonna.
Look, I loved it, but I think like it didn't necessarily always play well.
But I feel like the number of games that have had a glow up is too great to even answer the question. I feel like that number is huge. So I feel like the question we should be answering is which franchise has had a dim down, or
one game to the next. I think is fair too.
Even one game to the next, almost every game has been better than the one before it. Almost.
Well, yeah, but he's saying like what has the biggest improvement. So like I would say like a Smash 64 to a Smash Melee was a very like we loved playing Smash 64, but Smash Brothers wasn't Smash Brothers until Melee came out. Like it became a different beast, and I would say the same thing even for Halo, right? Like Halo 1 to Halo 2 it's a different like animal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Those are two very different.
You need to go with the dim. All right, it's fine. Dim down. Okay, you're not. I don't know that you're going to agree with this.
I'm not going to agree with this.
Dim down was Halo 3 to what we have now.
I mean, sure. I would say dim down is Halo 3 to Halo 5. Reach. is a dim down. I would say.
Ooh, you think it's a dim? I think it's a level. I think
the campaign is level. The multiplayer is worse. That's where it had the least balanced multiplayer. That was the one where you had only like the loadouts and like all like the item drops, and that's where all the armor abilities came from.
Yeah,
and had the worst maps. So all the maps were just sections of the campaign.
Yeah, Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the question. You got some people talking.
But yeah, Halo's had
Tom's
a dim
fucking
down.
doing it. Who knows?
Tom's dimming down.
Yeah.
Talistar and it sounds like Steve as well. What version of Gen 9 you're getting? If it's both, which is the first that is going to get a full playthrough? And then Steve added on to like asked a similar question, which is which starter are you going to choose? So there's Fuecoco, Quaxley, and Sprigatito.
I think I have to go with fire. Always.
Okay.
So I took a sneak peek at these final evolutions.
I did as well, so I could make my determination.
Exactly. I'm going with Fuecoco.
And I would like to say, for the first time in history, I will not be choosing a water starter.
What?
Is getting Fuecoco.
Well, there is a cat.
Did you see
who I'm not picking? I'm
Yes!
picking Fuecoco because
Yes,
I've said for a very long time now, that if Pokemon would just give me a fire starter that is not on two legs in the final, if they gave me a quadrupedal fire starter, I would choose it no matter what. And now I feel compelled to do that. I also think that the water final is fine.
Yeah.
The fire one's fucking cool.
It's fucking
cool, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool. I don't know what the typing is. I don't actually want to know. I just know what it looks like. I saw a picture. I saw it was on 4 legs, and it said, "I'm in." That's it. I don't need to know anything else.
And you also saw Sprigatito's final, and you were like, "Never in a million years am I doing that."
Yes, but I'll say this: the more humanoid ones, I often feel that way at first, and then when you play with them and you see the actual 3D models in the game versus like either the 2D images or like the 2D image of the 3D one, they always look way better, whereas they look like in the game and you get used to it and then it's fine. Like I didn't like the mermaid at first, right? That they did like for Sun and Moon, but then once I got it, I'm like, actually, this is fucking awesome. So like maybe Sprigatito's final evolution would look good in the game, but doesn't look Poplio. Remember Poplio?
Oh God, my least favorite starter of all time in all its various forms.
But that's how I felt about it when I first saw it, and then over time it grew on me, and now I like it a lot. So
there you go.
It's possible I'll end up liking the other ones later. I'm sure I will just do the trade thing at some point during the game, and I'll get all 3 starters. I'll probably do that once the game starts to feel like, once I get too powerful for the game, I'll be like, well, I've already at the point where the game is trivial anyway. I may as well just get to play with all the starters. But because that's how I come at the games now. I'm like, I'm just going to play it however I want to play it. I'm not worried about any kind of challenge or balance because these games are still inherently unbalanced. They don't offer any difficulty options still. So like until they do, like I'm personally not one of these people. I'm sorry, Talistar. I know you love your Nuzlocke. I think Nuzlocke are interesting and kind of fun when I've done them, but like they need to just put these things in the game and build the actual like options for them and like actually balance the games. And until then, it's like just get whatever monster you think looks cool. So here's the better question: which game are you gonna pick?
Scarlet.
Now that's curious because if you pick Scarlet and you have the fire starter, you're gonna get a fire type legendary. So now you're gonna have 2 fire types.
Is he a fire type? Is the legendary fire?
Oh, is it not? I'm just honestly,
know.
because it's red, I just made the assumption.
No,
he's probably like a rock type or something, right?
I don't know what they are. I'm picking Violet, and it's mainly because it can actually turn into a motorcycle versus the Scarlet one who just runs everywhere.
I thought you were picking the Scarlet one originally because you thought it was funny how he runs everywhere and doesn't ride on the wheels.
No. I'm picking Violet.
I'm picking Violet because I looked at the exclusives to see which like Pokemon, like older Pokemon, are in which game and not in the other. And one of my favorite Pokemon is in Violet, so I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna pick that one. Plus, I think I like the look of the Violet legendary more, although both legendaries I think actually look very cool.
Holy shit, we cross 1,000. Do you want to know the typing for the legendaries, Chris?
Oh,
I have it right here. I just like
sure, yeah. Tell me the typing.
Scarlet is fighting dragon, and
that's actually pretty good.
And then Violet is electric dragon.
They're both cool. They're both cool.
And I'm just realizing now, looking at these, this gen crosses 1,000 Pokemon.
Okay, so I have this information, Tom. and I wanted to talk about it really quick, and then we'll play a game. We'll go.
And
Because
real quick,
150
Steve in the chat did say, when we're talking about the dimming down, right, the glow up, and then we're talking about games that dim down. Star Fox dim down.
Ooh, yeah.
From where it was to where it is now.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure that we all recognize.
We heard that. We got it.
Based on what I saw, the current count of Pokemon, I believe, is going to end at 1,005 now.
Holy moly.
And we are on episode 350. So the question needs to be asked, how many episodes do we have to do at the current rate of Pokemon releases for us to catch up? So per game, over time right now. At 1,005 Pokemon.
But how many were there when we started?
So here's how it works.
Okay.
It's for the number of years that Pokemon has been out till now. And then you divide that by 1,005. Right? But divide 1,005 by that number. It's 112 average Pokemon per game release. So every time a new game comes out, on average, there's 112 new Pokemon is the current average. That's over 26 years is 1,005 Pokemon. So 112 Pokemon. So if there's 112 each release every 3 years, but we do 170 episodes every 3 years, then that means every game release we catch up by 68 Pokemon. So every 3 years, we're only 68 Pokemon closer, and we need to get to 1,005, which means, and here's the beauty of it, it's been 26 years.
Right.
There's been 1,005 Pokemon. It's going to take 1,008 weeks for us to catch up.
So we should start doing 2 a week.
So we will be caught up. We will be caught up in almost the amount of weeks that there are Pokemon right now is when we will catch up. It'll be episode 350. So originally the first rumor I had was 1,008. So I had to change the math, which is why I've been like checking. 1,355 will be the episode we are caught up. 1,355. So we have 1,005 episodes.
No, you mean 2,300.
No.
That means that means we're catching up in like 3 years.
No, 1,000 episodes of this show. We've done this show for 6 years and we're only on episode 350.
Right, but how can we catch up at 1,300 when Pokemon will be beyond that by the time we're there?
No, he said 1,500. What episode are we caught up, Chris?
I don't think that math is working.
Okay, no, yeah, Alex is right. He caught a mistake I made. I did this at like
fuck you, Tom.
Unbelievable. Look, when I did this note last night at 2:45 in the morning. It says this is what I created. This note. Yeah, so it should be 2,355 will be the episode.
That makes more sense to me. That is the episode where we probably will catch up.
All right, so it's been 6 years. Well, it's actually about to be 7 years of us doing this podcast now, which is even more insane. And we've done 350, right? So what was it? 2,000?
2,300. 2,300. Just say 2,300.
Okay, 2,300.
Which means you need to do 2,000 more episodes, which means it'll take us in 20-something years.
No. I did it right. Look, there's been 1,000.
We're not going to catch up at 1,000.
Hold on. Ready?
Yeah.
The mistake I made, Alex, was forgetting to add the 350. So here it is.
Okay.
There's been 1,005 episodes. Take away 350 from that.
No, there's been 1,000.
Sorry, there's been 1,005 Pokemon. Take away the 350 from that we've already done.
Yeah.
That gives us 655 weeks. 655 Pokemon that we still have left. Right.
To catch up without Pokemon adding anything.
Right.
Which means that's another 14 years. And in 14 years,
yes,
they will have added another 500, 600, 700
No,
Pokemon.
because he did the math on that too. He's talking about the average. He has also calculated into the fact of on average, every 3 years, they add 112 Pokemon.
Right. Every 3 years, they add 112 Pokemon. Every 3 years, we do 170 episodes. So we catch up every 3 years by 68.
We do more Pokemon than get added to the decks.
So if we catch up by 68 every 3 years, right, then we need to do basically 10x of that. So it's going to take 30 years
Right.
roughly the actual
Yeah.
number comes out to just over 26 years. So basically the length of Pokemon that has currently been out
Yeah.
is how long it's going to take us for us to catch
Yeah.
up.
Imagine the universe like a baseball or a basketball, and then quadruple it.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
insane. It's insane.
Have you seen that Tim and Eric sketch?
No.
Oh my god, where they
Negative.
talk about the universe, and they're like, I like to think of when I teach my kids the planets, oh Jesus, when I teach my kids the planets, I take a steeple formation and I just rattle them off. Mercury, Venus, Jupiter. There's a wheel planet. There's a planet made of cheese. Sector 9.
Oh, favorite planet, Sector 9.
So good. You got to. I'll send you the link. It's very funny.
Tuna, you have quick and play, or we go right to the game?
Right to the game.
All right. Today, you want to guess what game we're playing?
You told us.
Yeah.
did?
Yeah. It was
Oh, we're doing Google Trends.
Google Trends. Yeah.
All right. What's trending? Let's play. I have 2 Google Trends. I've compared them here for you. You guys got to guess which one of these motherfuckers is the higher, more popular average over the last year. So this is basically over the last year. So this is just 2022. So it's not the full 12 months, but it's just 2022. Tell me which one is the higher average search term on Google. Tom, you want to text me your answer, and Alex will say his. Oops.
Never seen what you. I can already tell that I've never seen whatever the hell you just sent me, Tom.
Oh well, you should watch it when you get the when you get the chance. It's very funny.
What is going on?
I'm trying to make fucking Siri go away and make sure my do not disturbs
Siri,
on,
get
so
out of
that,
here. We're trying to do a podcast.
so that we don't hear Tom's text noise when he texts me his answer. Because I don't know, and you'll just say yours, I guess, if that's what you want to do. It's easier. All right.
Yeah,
here's your first one. Let's start it out. The first one is Scarlet versus Violet.
Oh,
Scarlet versus Violet. Which one is the higher average? United States 2022.
Violet.
You should wait for Tom to send his answer.
I sent Scarlet.
Okay. That was so fast that I was shocked by it. Okay, great. 2 different answers. One of you is going to score, the other is not.
I definitely won.
Violet is the winner.
Thank you.
What?
Yep. Violet has an average.
You want to know why? You want to know why? Because it's not just about Pokemon. It's the word violet. Violet's in the rainbow. Kids are Googling
Scarlet
Violet.
Johansson, Scarlet Witch. Like,
but it's Scarlet
Letter, Scarlet Fever.
Nah, Violet all the way. Baby.
So again, the number that I'm telling you isn't the amount of times on average it's been searched. It's like they give it a cumulative number, like it's a search score. Scarlet had a search score of 29. Violet had a search score of 31. Very close fight. But Alex, you're taking the first point.
Shit, I was convinced that.
I mean, very close there, 29 to 31.
I know.
But we got 4 more to go. Now, Tom, hopefully you'll get your answer in first here. Let's find out.
Yeah, let's see if
Elden Ring versus Call of Duty.
Oh shit! And this is over the last year.
Yes. I tried to make these a little bit more interesting this time around.
Yeah.
Okay. I sent mine in.
I'm good to answer. I'm going to answer Call of Duty.
Okay.
Oh, I did Elden Ring.
Anyone care to say why? Because it is the average over the year.
Yeah, I say Call of Duty because I feel like everyone's Googling Call of Duty at all times. Call of Duty is probably Googled every single day, whereas Elden Ring probably had a nice little chunk, but then dropped off.
Interesting, because I think that Call of Duty got a lot of traffic recently. Probably, if we were looking at the last month, it would definitely be Call of Duty over Elden Ring. But Elden Ring did come out at the beginning of the year. It also, so it has had more time in the consciousness, whatever. Not that Call of Duty ever goes away from the consciousness, but the other thing is, and this was the deciding thought.
Okay.
There is an unfathomable amount of search for hidden thing in Elden Ring. How do I do this? Where is this thing? There's a bunch of like need for actually needing to search shit in Elden Ring, whereas like Call of Duty, you're really just like looking.
You think
up,
like if you were like if this was like an Amazon search result, Call of Duty would probably blow it out. But a Google search result, you think Elden Ring's gonna?
Well, I don't know, because Call of Duty, like, there's probably shit search for like, how do I get this gun? How do I level this up and stuff? So I don't know.
Let me reveal.
Yep.
And tell you, Tom's got the point, and it's not even close. Elden Ring has an average search score of 16. Call of Duty has a 3. A 3 compared to Elden Ring.
And I think that the big one with that is like if you had done like Modern Warfare 2 as the search term.
So I tried to find the highest search. This is the highest search score I could find. I tried COD also. I tried COD MW2. I tried a bunch of different to try and get them a little closer. And Elden Ring still like blew it out every time. It wasn't close. Elden Ring does have a huge peak, and it comes down, but it comes down on a much more gradual slope than you would expect. It doesn't just like cut off.
No, it's you know, and I think
it doesn't get lower than Call of Duty until like July.
We got it. Tom's logic
and
was
like
sound.
Elden Ring, I think like outs.
I was surprised by this when I typed it in.
Sales or something like it beat. Anyway,
yeah. Well, we got 3 more. Nintendo Switch versus Steam Deck. So it's Nintendo space Switch versus Steam space Deck.
These are good, man. Like, I don't know.
Also, let me tell you something. Single player games without microtransactions never sell. So I'm gonna go with.
I sent mine in, Chris.
I'm gonna go with Steam Deck.
I also said Steam Deck.
Oh, sorry.
Well, that's fine.
I hate to break it to you. It's not even close. 36-7. Switch dominates the Steam Deck still today. I mean, I think earlier in the year it was still hard to find Switches, like because of like the pandemic fever.
All right.
So that must be it.
Scratch fever.
Whereas like people are still learning what a Steam Deck is today, you know?
Yep.
So
yep.
And I bet a lot of people search for Stream Deck by accident.
Sure.
This next one. So it's tied up 1-1. Game Pass versus free to play. Game space pass versus free space 2 space play.
2 TO?
Yeah. Not free to play. Free to.
No. Like, you know, like FTP, F number 2.
Oh, no. Yeah, like no. I wrote the words out.
All right, I sent mine in.
I'm gonna go with free to play.
Okay.
I went with Game Pass.
Perfect.
I was personally surprised by this result. And the result is a score of 67-29. So they're both high up there, getting searched a lot, but Game Pass dominates more than twice as many. I was actually personally surprised by this because I would have thought the word free to play comes up in so many fucking articles about video games.
Yeah,
that
it would
searching
for it.
Yeah, and I bet actually like a lot of there's so many articles about Game Pass.
Think about exactly. Like think about like what does Game Pass get me? Discounts on Game Pass, like free to play.
Yeah,
I mean, why? I don't know why you do necessarily. I mean, it's got a high search, obviously, but like, yeah. Anyway,
final one.
This is the last one. Okay.
God of War Ragnarok versus Love and Thunder.
Just the words Love and Thunder.
Yes. God of War Ragnarok versus Love and Thunder.
I'm going to pick.
No colons, and I didn't do the special O. I checked. It's the same if it's a special O or not, but just so you know.
Yeah. I am going to pick whatever the opposite of Tom picks, because if I pick the same
to make it
thing,
interesting.
Well, if I pick the same thing, I lose. So
okay.
I'm going to pick the opposite of what Tom picks.
Tom has picked.
I picked God of War Ragnarok.
And the answer is God of War Ragnarok, an average search score of 5. Love and Thunder, an average search score of 11.
Wow. Which is interesting because I was going.
You played yourself.
Which is interesting. I'm curious as to these numbers because when we
God of War Ragnarok's peak search right now this week, it's actually coming down. It was peak search was probably last week. It's half of the peak search of the release week of MCU movies. Like the Love and Thunder peak search is double the God of War peak search.
Interesting. That's interesting because when we were at when I was at Inverse, one of the things that we would do on the articles for Thor was we'd actually title it Thor 4 because we actually found that like that was like the thing that people were searching for.
So
Love and Thunder.
I purposely didn't put Thor
Peak
Love and Thunder
Speakers.
because if I did that, it was like 10x God of War.
Right.
It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make it, you know, a little bit trickier there, which means, Alex, you've tied it up. So I'm going to right now, because I forgot to get a tiebreaker. So I'm going to do one right now. I'm going to go to Google Trends. And I'm going to work a little magic here. We're going to go ahead and say... All right, so we're going to do Kotaku versus G4.
All right. I'm gonna pick. I'm just gonna pick the opposite of what Tom picks.
I did Kotaku.
All right, Alex,
Okay.
you picked G4.
That's correct.
G4 has an average score of 62, pretty high. But Kotaku has an average score of 14, which means Alex wins. Congratulations!
Chris
Tom,
is fudging numbers.
Tom, you played yourself. You played yourself.
You're telling me the G4.
G4 as a search term probably also has other meanings.
G4 Summit.
And also like with some of the things that happened at G4, like when like people got fired and things like that, like those were in the news and another place where Kotaku necessarily like people go to Kotaku.com. I don't know how many people are searching the word Kotaku into Google, right?
Sure.
So there you go, Alex. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
What are you gonna do? How are you gonna go celebrate it?
I'm gonna go to bed. Tuna Targaryen on PlayStation and Twitter. Don't know if Twitter's gonna be around by the time you guys are hearing this. And then Tuna Space Targaryen on Xbox.
Tom.
Great Britom on each and every platform.
350 weeks in a row.
Another 1,000. We ended Twitter.
another 26 years to go before we catch up with Pokemon. Thanks you so much, everyone, for listening. Until next time, stay unranked, everybody.
We should figure out if anything was like formed or created or made the same month that we made this podcast and see what's died and been
also
done.
Suck it.